Hey everyone, Stiggy here, and welcome back to the small town of Dalefield in City Skylines 2. In today's episode, I'm going to start off by expanding out some of the suburbs of the city as we have quite a high residential demand, so it's important that we balance that with the existing industry over here. Plus there's some more offices and things over here that are zoned in but haven't been built since we don't have enough people to fill the jobs, that the industrial and office demand is low at the moment. So I was just thinking I'd start out by expanding this a bit more and zoning in some houses along here, but now might also be a good time to buy some expansion permits out in this area. We have 13, so I reckon 6 is a safe number to buy without going too overboard. So if we expand in that direction, we'll go with this road and this road and this road kind of being the main ones that form the sort of collectors and arterials that define the neighborhood. So if we do that, it doesn't like being so close to that bridge, but we can always just change that by destroying the rail line since we don't actually need it at this point. So if we do that, then that frees up space for this road. However, in the future I do want to add some rail into the city, so I should probably actually unlock that and add that in as like a placeholder for the time being, otherwise I'm going to forget about doing it. I'm trying to think how best to go about connecting this one up. So I've got, if I go to here, I take that to there, then I've got this road and this road, and if I come from there, let's see, if we go there and we get a slight triangle shape, which isn't like the most aesthetically pleasing, but it will serve its purpose in sort of connecting up some of these main roads. This one can then come up and sort of run across the top of here. This should give us a good area to expand into. What I might also do, just for the time being, is set up a district, because I think we're getting to the point now where the sort of main part of the city is big enough that it can sort of be somewhat defined, and this can be downtown. So this one's on a little bit of a slope, so I might just zone this in and see how it looks, because the alternative is that we leave a little gap for stuff like this going on. That way it doesn't completely distort the backyards and things. And I'd prefer if these houses were 3x6 houses in this suburb. It just makes it seem a little bit less dense, and if we compare it to other sort of suburban areas that I might make in the future, I might go slightly denser, therefore giving each suburb its own sort of somewhat distinct character, although that's kind of very subjective given that all the buildings are like the same thing. I noticed the thing too, it seems to take a while for the cliff texture to appear if you have created the right circumstances to create it, so it'll be interesting to see how this looks. Not too bad, this house is on a slope, but that's not unexpected. So I think it's now time for us to unlock rail if we haven't already, and build the railway line through the town before I do too much more development. Because I'm kind of thinking that perhaps this town was built a little bit before rails were invented and rolled out through whatever region this is meant to be a part of, but at some point in sort of its early foundations it would have got rail, which would have just worked through the existing road layout of the time. And I was looking at the city from a distance and was thinking of putting it through these blocks here, but I now notice that we have the elementary school there, so I might actually choose to shift that somewhere else rather than try and work around it, since the railway is possibly more important than the school operating. And we'll just put it on this block here. And what upgrades do we have? We have, that's the wing extension. That playground will fit off to the side somewhere here. And the children's clinic, don't think that is necessary for this particular school. So yeah, now we can come through with the train line and ruin a whole bunch of stuff by putting this in here. Would be good to see the size of the train station before I commit to constructing this, but it won't let me, so I'll just have to sort of trust that everything is going to work out okay. And that gradient for that isn't actually too bad, but whether the roads actually do what they say they're going to do is a different story. Okay, let's pause this before we destroy the whole town. So that's double train track. Okay, let's keep on going. Minus 1.2, minus 0.7, and the angle of this seems to be a little bit off, so I'll fix that. Okay, there we have another section of railway done, except it looks like it's going downhill and then uphill again. So if we retry that from this point here, we want elevated and then it come back down to the road level. Okay, so if we continue this along, then we can possibly start elevating it to go over this road, because that's quite close to the water now. There's this park in the way too, which won't let us build over. I'm trying to understand the snapping, because sometimes it seems to snap to only one of the rail lines, and this is how I'm getting that sort of offset location that I'm then working off of, and it's not turning out very well for me. That's plus 0.2, and it's just making a bridge over the last section. So if we do that, and then we put another house in here, remove that, and sort of remove that one as well, and rejig these houses a little bit, then this kind of sets up the direction of the rest of the rail line. And I think with some of these roads I'm going to choose to remove some of the crossings on them, but I might do that after the fact rather than right now, just because it's easier just to build the rail line and then work out all the little bits and pieces going on with it afterwards. So if we do there, then that's plus 0.8, and if we just keep this road as like a stub, or perhaps we could go down to the rail crossing and then come back up for the time being, or no, I actually might just make it a dead end, even though this road's going to serve basically no function whatsoever. Minus 1.4, I'll see if I can make that a bit gentler by constructing it all the way from here, so that can be minus 1 if possible, or as close to it, minus 1, then that will be minus 0.8, and then perhaps a little stub road here just to get like the tiniest bit more zoning. And this one, on this instance, it can be implied that that was sort of filled in a while ago and is no longer a part of the local road network, if you will. So after adding in the train line to the city, I decided to go in off camera and upgrade some of the roads to have grass berms. This is mainly for my own reference so that I can sort of tell which would be the main roads in the city as I've decided. And that would include this road down here running from this end to this end, as well as this main road that doesn't have the grass berm on it, and then as well this road kind of running along the top parallel to the main road a couple of blocks over, this one down the bottom, and then sort of this one down here, and one of these ones. I think it's this one up here. What I might also do is widen some of these roads. As with City Skylines 1, it seems to like break the zoning grid when you do that, but that can be easily fixed. None of these buildings really want to exist anyways, so shouldn't be too much of a problem. And we'll just keep going through here. 1 and 2. Okay, that stuff needs to be removed, so I'll do that off camera, as well as I think another main road that would probably be a higher capacity would be this one here. So we'll go through and do the same thing with that. And then off camera I'll probably tweak some of these to be the 5-lane asymmetrical road where it makes sense for that to be anyway. And here is where our roundabout would go. So we'll take that right the way down, and I'll probably do it with this road as well along where the high school is. So quite an important road as we expand out the city, and I think that's where my outside connection kit connects in for the moment, but I'll just leave that. Then this road as well. I might do that one off camera. So now I've gone through and upgraded this road, the main road, this diagonal side road, this other road that comes off this roundabout, and this road down here past the high school to all be 4-lane roads. Some of them I've upgraded to be asymmetrical, so 5-lane, and at this intersection I also added a temporary road in here just to get it so that there would be a left turn lane, or sorry, right turn lane, because we're driving on the left, just so people don't take up the through lanes if they want to turn into that side road. Anyway, now I want to change the road layout of these blocks here to line up more with the roads we've got off this part of the residential areas. So I'll go through and do that, and then here we're probably going to have to, oh no, it lets you actually do that and keeps the grass and everything. So if we go through one more time with this road and then just delete all of these, and then we can zone this block up with some residential. I might delete that little stub road since it makes no sense now, and it looks like all the zoning is broken in here for some reason, so I'll try that one street again. And now let's come through here and actually zone up these houses. It looks like we've got the same issue on one of these other streets with the zoning not being in the right place. That seemed to fix it. Anyway, let's go through and zone up more of these blocks. I anticipate that the end ones are going to do funky things that I don't want them doing, but I can address that at the end of doing the bulk of the work. Actually, I might go for the houses going in that direction on this road, just because it lines up better with the houses on the opposite side of that road. So like that, like that, like that, like that, and like that. And then one more block we'll do like this within this road layout. Then I have to give it a bit more thought as to what I want to do off to the right of the suburb, whether it's going to all be part of the same thing, and I'll probably have some commercial centered around that 4-lane road in the future, but for now I'm just going to do all residential, although we do have quite a bit of commercial demand. And we've hit the Boomtown milestone after doing that. I didn't actually click on to see what it gives us, but not really all that much apart from the heavy traffic ban might be of relevance. And now with that zoned up, we'll do a similar thing just down on this other side of the main road, but instead I want to extend out from this grid here with the single lane each way road and take, that looks about in center. So if we do maybe like, I don't want to go right on there, maybe like 240 meters, yeah, 240. That one seems to be on the grid, and I'll try that again with the previous one and see how that goes. And on this side, we'll do like that, so there can be a row of houses along there, and then it can join up with that road and continue out to here, and that's 288. So less the road widths, or if we do that into 3, that'll be about 90 something. So if we do that, it doesn't tell me, but that looks one too many. So if we do like that, then do the same thing again. That seems to make them all about the same size. And then this road can come through here somehow. Not sure how I'm going to deal with this road intersecting the main road yet, but that can be a future problem, not one for right now. So if we take this through here, then connect this up to here, then it's going to result in a really awkward grid pattern, but that's not unheard of in historical neighborhoods, since they would have been designed well before the automobile. We might need to try that again though, because it seems to have messed up. So if we do this, then this one here can go through, and this one won't take it right to the end right now, but if we go, see that squared off. So if we just snap to the angle, then we can do that, and it seems to make one big intersection. And I think the issues with the zoning here are just going to have to potentially be lived with, or no, we can fix that. So it's like that, then we take this out and complete this grid here. Almost feeling like that should have been a little bit shorter, just because of the size of the other blocks. I want to make it all so it's like nice and cohesive and actually looks like one neighborhood rather than some other sort of undesirable thing. So I'll do this, and then I'm not sure how I'm going to expand the rest of that out, but that can be a future problem, not one for right this second. Then I'm just thinking, because I probably want to do a park in this little area here somehow. So like that. Then were there any 2x3s? Because I don't want to just keep using this playground for everything, but it seems that it's going to be that way. And then along here I want to do maybe a little bit of commercial as like a neighborhood center, and then the rest would be residential. So I skipped through zoning the rest of this area up, but we've now got a few additional blocks of suburban houses here. Plus this area here didn't zone in as there's some ground pollution or something like that going on here, so looks a bit barren for now, but it's right next to the industrial area, and I think I had that coal power plant sitting there beforehand. I did want to add in a train station before we close this episode out, so I'll go ahead and do that now. Let's see, bus train station, we need to place down the rail yard first, so I'll go do that off to the side here because I don't really have a proper place for it yet, so I'll worry about that later. And then we'll go put the train station in over here, and I want to put it in this block here. It looks like it's too big for the block though, and goes like right into the road running parallel. So I'll just place it down over here. Oh, okay. It's got 6 tracks. One does look like some sort of bypass siding though, rather than actual platform. Actually, how many true platforms are there here? I guess you can upgrade it perhaps, but this is way too big for what would fit in our little small town here, we really only need like one platform in each direction, if that even. So it's a little bit of a letdown because I was hoping to do that before we close this episode out. But on that note, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one because there's nothing more to do on this one.